Hello dear friends, I'm glad to welcome everyone watching Sotnik-TV this moment. It's February 22nd, 2020. 7:06 p.m. moving to the news in blitz mode. 13 picket participants were detained today at Moscow Lnitsky Gate Square. The picket was dedicated to the birthday of Konstantin Kotov, a civil activist. Such detentions became a routine for Russia. Every picket is followed by that, as they no longer care about their own laws. Vladimir Putin ordered the Chamber of Ministers to develop a new strategy on fighting HIV and to double antiretroviral therapy coverage of those sick. Do you understand now why journalist Yuri Dud has made his movie? They can't do better than a double move. There's nothing wrong about that issue. The only question is why now? The HIV epidemic has been on in Russia for many years. That is not some recent problem. So here's the answer. Putin needed publicity in that field. He required an informational challenge, so the movie by Dud was released. Those who have watched that movie consider Dud really brave revealing such an important issue. And now Putin says, I know that problem, he is the step in that direction. What a wise man, just like Kaa the snake, our little bald Kaa the helmet. Igor Sechin reported to Putin on the results of oil negotiations with Lukashenko yesterday night. Meanwhile, those in Belarus start gaining support of the initiative to make Russians pay for driving Belarusian roads. Mark my words, soon we will hear about some Belarusian fascists. A Pentagon representative declared to journalists that the US had conducted a drill simulating a strike back by means of nuclear weapons following Russia, striking European NATO countries with low-yield nukes. That was followed by the report of Moscow condemning the US working on plans of a restricted nuclear attack on Russian territory. Such was declared on Saturday by Foreign Affairs Minister Deputy Sergei Ryabkov. So threatening with own plans and readiness to strike with tactical nukes is okay. It's okay to be going to heaven while the rest will simply die. What is not okay is making the plans of the appropriate response to such threats, as that is considered an aggression against Russia. They're insane. Doshirak Food Company is to invest 1.5 billion rubles upgrading its facilities in Ryazan city. Doshirak Ryazan LLC has been operating since 2008, producing instant noodles, mashed potato and oatmeals. Now we see what the main Russian food is going to be. The cuisine will consist of fast food and nitrate. The rest of the dishes will be demonstrated on TV. Searches were performed on February 22nd morning in the hotel rooms of Russian biathletes in Rasin and Holz, Italy. Those were initiated by International Biathlete Union due to the fact of biathletes Alexander Loginov, personal trainer, Alexander Kasparovich using someone else's accreditation to attend the championship. According to TASS news agency, another reason for such step was Mr. Loginov suspected in repeated anti-doping policy violation. Well, those in Europe don't like our spiritual citizens, including biathletes. It's not for nothing that Foreign Affairs Ministry has recently warned of a danger for Russians abroad. They have almost declared hunting our authorities due to the requests by Americans and English trying to screw us all the time. They now hate our country, always trying to catch us and to provoke. The main news showing some clear horizons are revealed in our today's episode. April 29th is the plausible date of voting on the Constitution amendments. Such important news covered by a routine. In reality, changing the constitution is something Vladimir Putin cares about the most. He stays forever. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has confirmed that Putin had lots of plans and his president's term had just begun, and that is true. He is likely to dismiss the state parliament in fall. Then he will schedule the elections upon the new version of the constitution that will turn soft and molded, just like that native latrine substance. The sooner he turns that street cheek to a professional criminal whore, the better for Putin. So that makes him hurry. He needs to make it before May festivals. Thus he'll be able to respond to those visiting leaders, mentioning human rights violations and the rest of the bullcrap, with his middle finger saying, "The entire life of ours is aligned with the Constitution. I mean, the Constitution is aligned with the common factor of our underworld." But that's another thing. Bold dictators' further plans are voiced quite openly. Leonid Kalashnikov, the head of the State Parliament Seas Affairs, European Integration and Compatriot Contacts Committee, reports that another government bill offering easier citizenship procedure includes easing for the citizens of Ukraine, Belarus, Moldavia and Kazakhstan. That demonstrates Putin planning on territory expansion by means of hybrid war on the lands listed above in the near future. We do remember passports giveaway on the territory of Abkhazia, followed by the exclusion of the part of Georgia, as well as the recent passport assignment in Donbass. Such are his internal plans. On the outside, he will continue that special operation on meddling into elections in European countries and the US, as well as escalating the Middle East situation, up to some uncovered clash with Turkey. His aim is to spark a refugee wave that would shatter the permanence of Europe, that will make a fitting ground for Putin's propaganda, allowing to pump the atmosphere of suspicion and unrest inside Russia. The slaves of Kremlin need to live in constant fear. That's why they always get evacuated after fake mining alarms to kindergartens, schools, courts and underground stations. The gangsters will press Russians harder from each side soon. The state thief Igor Shuvalov offers businessmen to be named the front class in the constitution. So those Kremlin crooks are supposed to become some untouchable leading class. I suppose that security officers may become hegemon in such case. Russian Guard may already use little force, and now the Federal Preventive Police is removed from a criminal responsibility for citizens' physical or material damage. In fact, they are now allowed to kill Russians for nothing. Thus, Northern Caucasus Special Services behavior pattern will soon be spread to the rest of Russia. Clashes with insolent developers also wait for Russians, just like the one at Michurinsky Avenue in Moscow. They decided to construct a residential building instead of the kindergarten promised there. The future clash scenario includes machinery, some athletes for hire with faces covered, and police officers standing idle. The athletes have already been using the means of restraint such as pepper spray. Don't you doubt that such means will soon turn into firearms on one of the sides. Kremlin has dehumanized its citizens, set time bombs, and put up loaded guns all over the walls of own cave. The time will come for all that to turn on, to explode and to start shooting, along with those wild returnees from Syria and the eastern Ukraine. They will be the ones to take those guns off the walls, and the rest will have to survive somehow so long as that's still possible. It's 8:01 p.m. Moscow time. I've been streaming for over an hour now and it's time to fold. In the end of the show, let me address those considering politics something dirty. That's what many of you have been thinking for quite a long time. That resulted in dirt spread all over the country, turning that into some Augean stables. A huge pile of crap resides in the chair of the head of the state in Kremlin. That pile has spilled all over the officers of the administration and the parliament, of courts and the police, of ministers and departments. That is all over the country at all levels. That smell makes you ice water. It's hard to breathe. Yet the majority, the vast majority of Russians who has allowed all that, keeps from cleaning that by any means. They're simply scared of such unbelievable volume, of such huge amounts. That crappy tsunami has covered the entire country, and we see that turd churning. You declare to be despising that dirty business. Yet the majority of you is covered with that. You are covered with that latrine substance up to your necks, as that includes your relatives, your neighbors, your friends and classmates. You name them cotton and Putin lovers disgracefully. You are surrounded by all that. Nevertheless, you say, it's not my problem. May political night soil men take care of that. Yet that crap has already absorbed all those men. Some of them disappeared, like Boris Nemtsov. Others got dirty, like Konstantin Krylov or Sergei Udaltsov. They now stink as much as that crap Führer. Who else are you waiting for? Are you waiting for Hercules to come and to perform a heroic act by cleaning those Augean stables? You forgot that Hercules is a made-up character. No Hercules is to come in reality. And you will either clean those stables yourselves or drown in all that. So, make up your minds. I thank everyone watching our channel, pressing likes, sharing and our materials and helping us to build an independent television. Please subscribe to Patreon. There's a link to that under the video, just like under the rest of our videos. Remember, it is totally safe, and no special services can identify you on that website. So subscribe and invite your friends, your family, your colleagues, acquaintances and the rest. Together we will make it. As together you are richer than any oligarch. We'll be able to make it and we will sure reach our goal. We're building that for ourselves. Please take care of yourselves, of your hearts and souls. Meet you next week. Goodbye now.